Coming up in this episode, I'll be speaking with a men's love and relationship coach, and she's going to tell us what is the most frequently asked question by men about women and sex. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Stefania Puleo, who is a men's love and relationship coach. Please help me welcome her to the show. Hi, Stefania.
Hi, Mel. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you doing today?
Yes, I'm great. Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you for joining me. I'm so excited to hear about what you do and have you tell our listeners and viewers exactly what you do and where you're from.
Okay, well, I'm from Australia, in Melbourne, actually, the city of Melbourne, and I am a men's love and relationship coach. So what I do is I help driven men understand the psychology of women, how they think, and female energy. And I help them actually keep them in a sexy, passionate, loving relationship. All that without going crazy.
Wow, that sounds good. Yeah, I know men do go crazy because they don't understand really what women want and what we need. But what can you tell me about what you do? How do you keep men engaged in some of the things that you offer them?
Okay, well, basically, I offer programs. I do one-on-one coaching or I do group coaching. It depends on the needs. And I also have online courses. But it depends where they're at in their relationship. So I work with single men. I work with men that may be in a relationship, whether they're, dating or actually, committed and married possibly. I work singly with men, and I also have a program which is along the lines of a recovery. So if someone, if a man has come out of a bad relationship, a toxic relationship, and, they're feeling quite hurt, possibly even several relationships where they keep attracting the same type of woman, obviously there is something that needs, attention. So we work on him first, get him right before he actually goes out and attempts having another relationship. So there's different areas that I work with men.
Wow, well, that's good that you do that. So do you find it a little more difficult to coach men as opposed to women?
Well, that's an interesting question. It's different. I wouldn't say it's more difficult. I'd say it's different. I did previously coach women before, so I'm also a personal trainer, fitness coach, and I used to coach women as well as coach them, with relationships. So it was kind of a combined thing because they'd come to me for personal training, but then we'd talk about their relationships. So I thought, this needs attention, that, women, are needing that help. But what happened was I decided to coach men after a period because they were always telling me men don't understand us, they just don't get it. So I felt there was a real need to, help men along that area.
Wow, that's really good. Do you find it a little harder for men to open up when you're talking to them? How does that work?
Yeah, I do. I would say, a larger percentage of men do find it difficult just because, it is a male trait and, it depends on, how they were brought up. And, the stereotype male has to be strong and is not allowed to be vulnerable and show his feelings. But, as time is going on, I think men are starting to realize that, it's okay. And particularly through coaching, there's perfectly nothing wrong. If anything, when you are vulnerable or you allow yourself to be vulnerable as a man, you're actually showing more strength because you're able to then work with, the obstacles and, maybe the limiting beliefs or anything that may be challenging them.
Absolutely. That's understandable. So do you feel, I mean, when do they come back? How often do you coach the same person or the same gentleman, should I say?
Okay, so it really depends. I do offer programs because usually, like anything, whether it be for a female or a male in relationships, and if there is a problem, it's not a one-time quick fix. It's a journey. And really, I think what is important is that because I am coaching men, that there is some form of commitment within himself to really, pursue, the process of whatever it is, whether it's healing, whether it's stepping out of their shell and being more confident to attract, their ideal value matched woman. Because a lot of the times, men lack, well, I won't say lack, but have that mindset. There's a limiting belief that may cause them to be less confident than what they think they really are. So they've got it in them. I just help them draw it out, and be able to connect and really understand women, because we're all different. We are all different, and as a woman, I can say, we're also quite challenging, I wouldn't say we're that easy. I don't know. What do you think, Mel?
That we are challenging, and it is hard for men to open up to us because they're not sure of what they're going to get when they do it. So I think that is, a bit, it makes them a little more at ease when a woman is coaching them and telling them, hey, this is what women want, this is what women need, and understanding a man's feelings as well. So I really think that you do that. I love the name, the Gentleman Square. Where did that come from?
Okay. Well, yeah, I love that name too. And actually I'm glad you asked that question, because there is a story behind it. I lived in Italy for 7 years. I just recently came back in April when the whole COVID situation started. So I came back to Australia in April last year, 2020. But I was living in Italy, Sicily, for 7 years prior to that. So in Italy, for those of you that have traveled and, or know, but, Italians, I lived in a city, not a very big city, Syracuse, and they have a lot of squares, which we call La Piazza. Piazza in Italian means square in English. So you'd have your cathedral, you'd have your, big square. And the men, particularly the men, would come out to the square and chat and, converse, play cards. It was a real, meeting spot for men. And of course, that really intrigued me, because the women would all, the traditional, Italian women would be all home. They'd be, cooking, cleaning, looking after the kids. But the men would come together at this square. And when I was in the process of building, starting my business and everything, I thought, you know what? This is perfect. The Gentleman's Square, a Piazza degli Uomini in Italian. And, converted in English is the Gentleman's Square. So that's how I came up with the name.
Wow. Well, that sounds really nice. And I actually like the way it sounds in Italian.
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool in Italian too. Yes.
Yes, that is really beautiful. So I guess you living in Italy just gave you a little bit more, to go ahead and name your project or your business, the Gentleman's Square. But were you thinking about any other names at that time?
To be quite honest, I wasn't, because I was trying to think, but there was nothing that was really gelling. When you have all these, names pop up in your head. Yeah. But I wanted something that was quite strong and appealing. But, it's really interesting because when I did pick that name and I'm sharing it with my friends, and obviously when I registered the name, the business name, I've had several gentlemen say, well, what's the Gentleman's Square? I tell them it's I'm a men's love and relationship coach. And, and they'd say, some people thought, the name sounds like, if I can say, a brothel, like an escort agency. And it's like, are you serious? And I said, are you serious? And they'd say, yeah, it sounds so Yeah, so strong like that. But no, it's not an escort agency. But the name is quite strong, and it speaks directly to men. So that was the effect I wanted. So whether they think it's that or not, but once they visit my site, they'll realize it's not that at all. So it was quite interesting to see the reaction.
I love it. I love that you said it sounded like the men said it sounded like a brothel. That's funny. Well, we know what it is, Stefania.
Absolutely.
So, what is the most frequently asked question that men ask about women and sex?
Okay. Well, that's also a interesting question because it's always on men's minds. So usually it's about, not so, I guess, attracting the woman, being, understanding what a woman wants in bed. I think that would have to be the most popular question, how to turn a woman on. Because, men are very physical, as opposed to women. Women are a little bit more, they're more on the emotional side. Doesn't mean that they're not physical. But, being understanding a woman and connecting with her emotionally, this is what I try and help men understand. Connecting with her emotionally is going to enable them to connect with them physically, because ultimately men are very physical and they go for that first without thinking about the emotional. So it's kind of like back pacing a little bit and helping them understand the psychology and female energy to get to that.
That's understandable. And we are emotional creatures, so it is a little bit hard for us to disconnect the emotions when it comes to sex and men. So
absolutely, yeah. Because men are a little bit, they think they can just switch the light switch on, and women are like, yeah, we're ready. And we like to be warmed up. And there are times that obviously us women can kind of turn on really quickly, but usually if you look at the prior build up, there is another warm up to that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's not so instant like it is with men.
Yes, okay, that
does that make sense? Yeah,
definitely does make sense.
Right. So it may be, I'll give you a scenario, right? For example, he's coming home to her and he may text her and, text her a kind of like naughty, dirty message. And that's already planted the seed in her mind and in a way that he knows how to connect with her. So the minute he walks in the door, they're like passionately just making out and in bed straight away because there has been a build up. So it may take that little bit, that little something that is going to trigger a woman to be turned on instantly, so to speak. Dirty talk.
So she knows what to expect as soon as that door opens. She's like, okay, my man text me that he want me like this or like that, and he's
right. And she's probably already in her lingerie for sure, greeting him with her jacket with nothing underneath, or maybe just a,
There you go. And that's the warm up. I love it. The warm up text. The warm up sex.
Exactly. There's many ways.
So this question is kind of broad, but how do you plan on changing the world in 2021 with your profession and the things that you do for these gentlemen?
Okay. Yeah. Well, that is a pretty general question, but my main focus is to be able to help men open up their hearts, and be able to connect with women, whether they have been hurt, whether they have been in and out of toxic relationships, healing the heart, because I am all about love and, healing and moving on and helping them let go, which is a big part of healing. So, ultimately, it is about getting that woman and how to interact and keeping her, but it's also going back to self and being able to heal those, wounds, because depending, how many relationships or what age you are. We tend to put, something, I call it a backpack, where we just put another wound back in there, and our backpack gets really heavy. It has to be emptied, it has to be healed, has to be rinsed out.
That was a really good analogy. The backpack, you put the wounds in and it fills on up. So that was really good.
Gets too heavy. We can't carry it, and who wants to be carrying around, and another analogy I use too is, when we put the trash out, right? When we put the rubbish out, we call it rubbish here in Australia, but we put the trash out in the garbage bins outside, and then you have the truck that comes and collects your trash. Well, you don't keep it, do you? You don't keep it there and rummage through it. You just put it out and it gets collected. So if we don't cleanse, we don't clear and let go, that stuff's going to build up. It's going to smell, it's going to stink, and it's going to be really heavy.
Yeah, you're right. All types of trash and garbage from past relationships or anything that you were feeling. Wow, that's you. You go, Stefania. Another great analogy. Throw the trash out before you get into the next relationship.
Absolutely. Clean it all up.
Dump the backpack. So, where can people locate you? Where can they find you?
Okay, well, you can find me. I have several platforms, but my website is www.thegentlemensquare. So it's MEN plural, thegentlemensquare.com. So I have, contact me there, info@thegentlemensquare.com. I also am on YouTube. I have my YouTube channel. So there's lots of free content there that you can go and view. Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Yes, so I'm pretty much on all platforms. And I have a new book, an ebook that you can download. You can go straight to my website. Yeah, and this book is really good because it's called Master the Language of Attraction. And it talks about 9 juicier ways to connect with women. So it's a really great book, and it helps men open up, their minds a little bit more, step out of the box and get comfortable with themselves, with connecting with women and understanding them a little bit more, because, we're not easy, I admit.
I admit it too, so I'm on the same page as you.
Right.
I want to ask you about your upcoming projects too. I love that. So, your book is it Audible? I mean, audio book? Can they?
Okay. At the moment, it's a downloadable. It's an ebook, so you can download it. It's actually only 99 cents. It's not expensive at all. But the reason I've put a price to it is because, I know when people pay for something, they're more inclined to actually read it. I know there's, free ebooks, dial a dozen everywhere. And also the 99 cents is going to go towards charity. I've decided that all that, if I sell enough books, only 99 cents, all that is going to go towards a worthy cause, helping, educating more people, and mainly helping people in Africa, believe it or not. I've got a soft spot for children. So yeah, helping the children. Yeah.
Beautiful, Stefania. So that really should push a lot of people to get the book, knowing that it's only 99 cents. You're not doing it because you want to put the money in your pocket, but you actually want to give back. And I think that is a beautiful thing. I really do.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, it's less than a coffee, right? And we pay more for a cup of coffee.
Absolutely. Less than a cup of coffee. And it's a good read. It's a knowledgeable book. So therefore, you're doing 2 things at once. You're learning about, men and women, and helping someone in Africa. So I really applaud you for doing that. That is super cool.
Yeah. So I've got that. And also I've got all my programs on my website as well. So, but another great online course, if someone wants to start instantly and kind of like get the feel, I have an online course, which is Master core confidence with women and money, because I think money and women and money for men is like the two major components in their lives. And, if one affects the other, let's face it, if a man doesn't have, the confidence in earning money or having money, it's going to affect his relationship. And if, he's in a relationship and he wants to, impress and show that he's stable and financial and be able to provide for a woman. So they both interconnect. So that's a really great, it's a 5-step process, which takes them through, an introduction of, having core confidence with money and women. So I thought I'd just add that in.
Well, thank you.
Check it out. It's very inexpensive and it's, it's great.
Well, that's needed, man. I appreciate you telling us your up and coming projects, and that's definitely needed. You were a pleasure to speak with, and I hope to have you back on. And I pray that a lot of the listeners and viewers go to that site and download that Audible book, 99 cents. I mean,
That's
come on. Stefania, I appreciate you so much, and I'm glad that you shared your platforms with us so that way everybody know how to get in touch with you. And please, guys, go look up the Gentleman's Square. It's not a brothel, we promise.
Absolutely not.
It is a place where men could go and get information on how to handle women and learn about women. And Stefania is she's the best person to teach you. So thank you, Stefania.
Well, thank you, Mel. And I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity. I mean, it's been great, and it's been great chatting with you and getting to know you. And I really am grateful. I'm grateful, and thank you to all the listeners out there. If you have any questions, you can chat to me. Also on my website, I just want to add that I do have a chat box, which is a direct messaging straight to me. So you don't have to go through any platforms. I have my own little chat box on that. Feel free to ask me a question. Need to talk. Let's organize a time. I'd love to help. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you, Stefania. I'll talk to you soon, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon, okay?
Thank you. Thank you. You too.
Oh,
bye.
Beautiful. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I love it. Thank you guys so much for joining us today at the Love Manual. I'm Mel, your host, and as always, we love to bring you good advice and good tips from professionals, sexologists, matchmakers, love coaches, and a little bit of everyone from all walks of life. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll get notifications of when we're going on live. And don't forget to like and share. Thank you so much.